I'm not a big fan of aluminum, and I'm usually kinda against built-in batteries, but I make exception for these ultras. Hey, welcome back to UDC channel, this is Jay. How does this OClip compare to the ArcFelt, which I reviewed before? I'm going to review and compare it as I go over this OClip. Here's the box that it came with. And let's take a closer look at the light itself while I go over it. Really liking these non-obtrusive discrete markings, which are etched in the same color instead of engraving. In fact, I didn't opt for the free engraving because it was not done the same way in color. But I've seen some who mod it to add color or even glow, which are also nice. Okay, next is the clip, which makes this an OClip. Big robust clip plus a big rubber cushion with lots of grip, which makes this light even more versatile. It has a magnet on the bottom of the clip instead of the bottom of the light, which is the right way since the light is facing front, so technically the back is the bottom. There's a big lanyard hole for us to carry it like a necklace, since it's small and light enough. The thing about the clip is that you can't really clip it on the brim of a hat to make it a headlamp since it's facing down. But Olight just released a dedicated headband for OClips recently. Another thing I want to point out is that due to the shape and design, the positioning on how you hold and use the light is kind of awkward and not meant for prolonged use. It's better off to be used hands-free, hence the name OClip. Here's a big improvement in my opinion. It's using a much more common USB Type-C for charging instead of Olight proprietary magnetic charging. And it uses this flap mechanism instead of the usual rubber flap, which is really cool. I think all manufacturers should learn and use this method. I'm not sure if it's plastic or metal, but I do hope it's metal. And it only has IPX6 waterproof rating instead of IPX8. Maybe for future improvement, they can add some rubber sealant inside to help with the waterproofing. I do wish it still has the usual Olight magnetic charging at the bottom, just for compatibility for those of us who I know for a fact have tons and tons of Olight magnetic charging. They have the space for it externally, but probably to save space internally. It has a similar rotary toggle around the switch, this time with a battery level indicator. Do I wish it has the same cool perforated battery level indicator like on this ArcFelt Ultra? That would actually be cool. Maybe here on the side, under the switch, or here in the front. Again, this is probably to save space internally to keep the size down. The color code single LED indicator should be sufficient anyways. They work slightly different though. On the OClip, it turns on whenever we rotate the toggle, whereas on the ArcFelt, it turns on whenever we turn on the light on or off. One thing that bothers me is that the toggle does not align with the markings. I heard that some ArcFelt also has this issue. This was actually the first thing I checked when I opened it. It actually still works if I manually align it, but it doesn't click on the right spot, which might bother some people. And it also sort of plays a bit. Again, this does not affect the functionality whatsoever, just my nitpicking. I forgot to mention one of the benefits of OAL is that it's stronger than regular 6061 aluminum, and I quote, natural anodization without added pigments that withstand daily wear and scratches. Now I won't do a torture test, this is not that kind of channel, but I did drop this on the concrete floor from waist height. There were some marks. I just rubbed it and I can't find any scratches now, so that's that. Okay, moving on to the main thing, the LEDs. This has 3 outputs or channels just like the arc felt. They both has UV, although the UV on the arc felt throws further with bigger reflector. You can see the tighter hotspot. But this time without laser, which is smart in my opinion, since it's kinda awkward to point the laser this way. Instead, it has a dual throw and flat white channels. By the way, am I the only one who thinks that the LED arrangement looks like a certain famous mouse? Okay, this is a good time to talk about the versions. The non-Ultra ArcFelt Pro has a red instead of UV, and the non-Pro ArcFelt only has 2 modes, one white and one red. And there's an OAL non-Pro special edition for SHOT Show. And of course the super limited zirconium version, which is super dope. There are also 2 on knives with OAL and 2 more flashlight with OAL. The Tactical Warrior Ultra and the I1R2 OAL, which is a limited sample. I only have this instead. And this for my tactical light, which has basically the same material, finish, and color. Okay, back to this. For this Ultra, currently there are only 2 color options. This natural color, which I prefer obviously, and the dark navy blue, which also looks nice. I believe they will release the stealth gray also. Unfortunately, both the throw and the flat channel are cold white. I was hoping for at least one channel, preferably the flat channel, to have a warm or at least neutral option. It looks like the flat has a nicer tint. The thrower is slightly greenish. And now is a good time to talk about the mod options. I think an additional red is more useful than 2 white channels. So I'm thinking and hoping to swap the thrower with a neutral white SFT25R in 5000K CCT, and either a red LED for the flat or the rosy FFL 351A. What do you guys think? Okay, let's go over the UI before we head out. First of all, I've always said that I love how Olight handles moonlight mode. There's a shortcut for it, and it's a true sublumen, usually 0.5 lumens. It's memorized but not part of the cycle. Back to low. And it has memory, and the memory is shared between the flat and the throw channel. And it supports instant switching back and forth between the modes. Double click for turbo as usual. Now the triple clicks is separated into 2, from off to strobe and from on to beacon. There's no hardware lockout, so the usual long press for software lockout, indicated by this red LED. I do wish it has another mode in the selector for off or just momentary moonlight, maybe all the way down here. Okay, time for some beam shots. OClip Ultra. Let's test the flood and the throw from moonlight. Throw, flood, low, flood, medium, high, throw, turbo. At first I wasn't gonna do an outdoor beam shot since this is very small, but the throw is surprisingly decent outdoor, and the flood I really like the simple, clean, boxy design of the Ultra series, especially in this natural color. They're also obviously anti-roll. The combination of the versatility of the multiple light source, the clip, the physical size, the output level, makes this probably my new dedicated backup light, and it fits in the fifth pocket. I do prefer replaceable batteries, but with this shapes and size, it's probably hard to find a battery size that fits. Okay, I think that's all for this one. As always, thanks for watching and see you guys in the next one. Bye now.